Good evening. I want to thank Peter Hadar and Shayna for inviting me to come, and I just wanted to talk to y'all for a few seconds. It's something I wrote for Imamo after he passed. That was a big loss for us, and even right now we're going through more mourning because Chokwe Lumumba, who was the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, passed away on Tuesday. So a lot of the people from that generation is leaving us. A lot of the revolutionaries, they're leaving us. So I implore those of us who knew them, who sat with them and got some information from them, we need to begin to write, because they're going to try to change the story. The people who are coming writing after them are trying to change the narrative. I read in the paper several times in the last month or so where they're referring to the Baraka family as privileged. And we know the true story is that to be a revolutionary in this city and in this country does not make you privileged. So like I said, we need to write more, we need to explain what really happened, and we just need to raise the level of consciousness. So I'm going to read this real quick, something about Amiri. It's like an essay. All right. The first time I met Amiri and had a real conversation with him was in his living room, a little piece of Africa in North-South Ward. The room was filled with books in the fireplace, on benches, on the floor, shelves. Books were everywhere. We were discussing his role in the conference I was organizing at Rutgers, Newark, while I was a student at Union County College. The title and theme of the conference was Education for Liberation, and he was to deliver the keynote. When he did finally speak at the conference, he delivered a great and most important speech, which is ever relevant today. The subject of the speech was the need for a united front politically here in America. This would be the beginning of one of the most important relationships, mentorships, and ultimately friendships in my life. I would come to find out later that many people had this experience with Amiri. They would start out looking for a teacher and ended up with a friend and mentor. So in short, there's nothing special about my relationship with Amiri. There are hundreds of people who have the same type of relationship and discourse with him because he was open and willing to teach and talk to those who were willing to use their skills and talents on behalf of the people. That's what the United Front speech was about, pooling our resources based on a set of principles, the chief principle being working on behalf of the majority of the people and protecting their rights and their material resources from those who desire to snatch them away and use them for personal benefit. The aspect that we look at tonight is the role of the artist. What role must the artist play in the rebuilding of our communities and defending justice? Dr. Du Bois says all art is propaganda and ever must be. Who are you making this for? Who are you talking to? Then we can gauge if it's bullshit or not. Are you fighting for liberation or pimping your blackness or lack thereof as some niche shit to get paid? And when you're attacked, you fall back on the fact that you're black, but not really. You're organizing and are you organizing and putting the skills you have of the brush, the pen, the camera, your voice at the service of the people? Is your trumpet being sounded, calling attention to the injustice we face? Is your poem calling for a living wage and an end to police brutality? Or are you talking about how beautiful the trees are? I saw a tree too, but it was surrounded by steel and filth, blocked from some by a project building. You can talk about beauty, but put it into context. I went on Rawdon Market looking for the sunrise, but I was blocked out by a building with a rock on it that represents billions but ain't paid taxes since the 1970s. Tell the truth, we are beautiful in spite of our condition, but not because of it. Does the music you make empower our young people, or does it solicit the worst behavior from them? Amiri was not fond of the concept of art for art's sake. Bullets, razors, bricks, fire, anything that can hurt your enemy is what your words need to be. Chants, rhythm, songs, the drum, dance, and freedom, anything that can move the people is what your words need to be, a manifestation of truth and beauty. I implore us all to take a very close look at the Black Arts Movement, BAM, and the various artistic movements that it birthed. You can look at the BAM from various perspectives. One that I believe our generation of artists might find very interesting is the very independent nature of the movement. The ability of many artists to self-publish and maintain total creative control over their art could be of great use to us. With the accessibility of social media, we have tools at our disposal that we must use. Also, they created a network of artists around the country, which allowed them to tour. Amiri often spoke of the 27 cities where black people are in the main. Just imagine if you knew one artist in each of those cities, we could create an artistic tour of 27 cities. We must pay close attention to the ideological developments of the black art movement as well. Amiri was a studier. He knew something, and the greatest thing he knew was that he needed to know more, and that he could never stop fighting for the people. So before you start stumbling and talking crazy, you better read Du Bois so you can begin to reconstruct your black life. But Fred had some answers too. Love, work, struggle, learn some more, all the while never stop working. It's your teacher too. You can't and won't learn it all by sitting at your desk or at some corny-ass coffee shop with a latte. No, you better talk to people, find out what makes them move and love and cry and laugh. Talk to them about what their babies feel and need and what and should have. You better learn something. Don't just sit there and let this shit happen to you. You better work. Listen to Monk, Miles, and Train. All the answers can't be found here. That's when you put on Sunrise or the later Miles stuff. It'll take you out of here. Still knowing why you left and with plans to come back, you know. About Imamu, he had a rhythm in his walk, in his life that transmitted to us. It's all vibration anyway, and we caught it, affected by it, even if we didn't recognize it. Every morning after I read my surahs, I put you on to hear the voice, to feel the passion, and every day it's newer, it's realer, it's more important, it's fiercer. The rhythmic cadence is blues and jazz, and it's the best of us. Your instructions bellow over the speakers. Do something, get your ass up and do something. Be that what you say you are. Do what you have the ability to do. Make this spot better right now. Don't wait, you can't wait. You wait too long and your ass will be out and gone. Your enemies will continue to rack up victories. You better fight. Go help Raz. You better know who you are, or they'll tell you you're a chair or a pencil. You better learn something. Teach somebody. You better do something. Who knows or knew Imamu? Some but very few that's left knew him as Leroy. And there are those that know him as Mr. Baraka. That's O.B. Raz, Shani, Amiri Jr., Nahid's father. Then there are those who know Amiri as their comrade. But we all know him in some way. We know his walk, his talk, his penetrating glare over his lowered glasses. Folk know him that don't even know they know him. If you're in this town and you meet a man named Inyawu or a woman named Makiba, chances are you have come into contact with the influence of our Imamu. Though he stopped using the title Imamu, he never ceased to be our spiritual leader. How could he? Being such an integral part of our being, who taught us so deeply about the music, the literature, the films, the culture of the people, the development of ideas, the importance and complexity of language, our language, the language of people, of the world, of justice, of the rivers and the streets that walking people work and walk on. Baraka's walk was developed here in Newark. That purposeful bop, like his music, Mr. B, bop, we have to continue to organize, never stop, is what he would have us do. Learn and organize. We are going to continue the work of Amiri Baraka, which primarily was building of the United Front. If you spoke to him for more than 10 minutes, no matter the subject, it would sooner or later turn to the United Front. And he'll tell us, I didn't leave you alone, man. I left you books and poems, interviews and plays, and my children, and Amina, my wife. Raz is going to be mayor, and OB will teach kids revolution and history at basketball camps while they're at the free throw line. He traveled with me all. He traveled with me all the time. He knows where all the Jews are around the country. And for political strategy, check out Amiri Jr. And what I didn't leave you, you're gonna have to find it yourself. Until next time, so long, my friend. So.